Tonight we wrap up an intriguing Week 2 with a good Monday night matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. Two teams here, each off to 1-0 starts as this one is underway on EA Sports. From the 6. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Dak going to start out going to the air. Over the middle, complete. That's McCoy. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Tackle made that time by Vita Vea. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. The Cowboys at 1-0 on the year following the win in Week 1. And they've gotten a pretty good deal from the schedule makers as well. Home dates in Weeks 1 and 2.
And I would believe that they would need to take advantage of that, partner, because as you can imagine, the road dates will pile up later this season. So this is a great opportunity for them to put some early distance on the rest of the division and create a little bit of a cushion for them for later in the year.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Room here to run. Touchdown, Cowboys!
Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
It didn't take long to see our first penalty of the game, did it?
We always talk about everyone wanting to get into the game in a hurry. The officials did as well.
A very costly holding penalty. It backs them up all the way inside their 10 to start this drive. They fake the give. Now Wentz. And right away, he lost the football. It's loose. The ball bouncing around. And it's going to go out of the back of the end zone, so that is going to be a safety. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems, and this qualifies as a big problem.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. Prescott now from the 50. They'll set up the screen to Elliott.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Prescott. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Cowboys. yards here so far.
And the Cowboys are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They're already looking up at a 16-0 deficit. Still plenty of time to go, first quarter. But work to be done as they come up 1st and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on 1st down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
After the incompletion, they'll try once more from the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. In motion left goes a tight end. A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And some room to maneuver. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 17 yards on the play and a Buccaneer first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Those shoulders went from parallel to square. And then he brought force with him to finish that run. Oh, that's impressive.
And we saw a lot of that a week ago when he got the NFC Offensive Player of the Week award. They keep it with Fournette on first down. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time.
Well, this defense for the Cowboys, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Anthony Barr. And the Cowboys will take over possession here up at the 44.
So more problems here in this first quarter. Already 2 scores down, and here they give away the football.
And if I'm the head coach, I think it's time to start lighting a fire under some of these guys. Now, you have to do it within your personality. They can't perceive it as fake. But I'd go get after some guys because they don't look ready to play to me. They look flat, uninspired. It's time to get moving.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive.
They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
They start on the ground with Elliott. Runs over him. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
That one complete to Elliott.
And he's going to get this down near the 25.
And they'll use him out of the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago, there's another one right there.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Running the jet sweep as Prescott bats it forward. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Throwing on 2nd down, Prescott. He finds McCoy. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
And again, it's Prescott. toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Against a team coming off a win, just as your team did the previous week, you talk about being physical all game long. Sometimes being physical is just being on the spot and helping force the incompletion.
And forthcoming, a field goal try for the Cowboys. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. On 2nd and 11 now. Wentz. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Throwing is Wentz. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. .33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Here's a quick throw by Dak, complete out wide. Touchdown! 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys are able to widen their lead here in this first half. Well, this offensive unit, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz.
That's complete. It's Chris Godwin.
They find some open field here.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. And 22 more yards there and another first down.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football.
And the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football.
Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. Atlanta throws the interception. San Francisco runs it back. Game is salted away. Fumbles on the return. Atlanta gets it back, drives down, kicks the game-winning field goal.
How about that? And a crazy situation we just saw there.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
On the draw, this is Fournette. And he stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Wentz to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And now we've got a 3rd and 4.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. He is marked down right about on top of that imaginary yellow line, but they say he's a bit short.
Facing this big first half deficit, they keep the field goal unit on the sideline. They're going for it.
They'll go for it. It's Wentz. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. A great play there. His first NFL reception goes for 6.
And the Bucs' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll make this a 19-point ball game.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. From the 6. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense.
The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Prescott. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 17. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is. That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Wentz going to throw. Looking downfield for Godwin. On Wentz is intercepted yet again. Picked up by Kelvin Joseph. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out of the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half. Here's a ball thrown right side and complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, Prescott. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down.
Traditionally, as a defense, your number one job, stop the run. But in today's football, it's impacting the opposing quarterback. Make him uncomfortable. And so far, they've not been able to do that.
Not at all. He's been really comfortable in the pocket. 3 touchdown passes already.
So that could be an important first sack if they do want to turn things around.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Now Prescott. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. Now Prescott. Got his man. It's Arcega-Whiteside. Touchdown, Cowboys. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside as the first half is winding down. And the Cowboys will extend their lead here just before halftime.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
The extra point splits the uprights, and a rout is on here in this first half.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shouldering the ball carrier, and down he goes.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. This will be caught by his big wide receiver. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half.
81.
A final shot before half for Wentz. And it's knocked away and incomplete. So we have come to halftime here in Dallas with the Cowboys out in front as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. So after a very one-sided first half, what will the second half bring as we are back underway on EA Sports? And here comes a return from the middle of the end. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And he will take this down to the 10-yard line. And that has to be so frustrating because you know that they had something set up there for this first drive of the second half. It wasn't the fumble.
Sometimes no matter what you go over at halftime, no matter what you say, errors will result, and that's exactly what happened here. They were trying to change things from what happened in the first half. Instead, they continue to make mistakes.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. This will be caught at about the 6. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Cowboys are pouring it on.
I tell you what, Charles, I know that you don't put a ton of stock into power rankings and things of that nature, but another score here, and 2 weeks into the season, this is maybe the most impressive team in the NFL. Would you agree?
Well, they've certainly sold me as they've sold you, and I agree with you, no question about it. They won easily last week. They're on their way to another lopsided victory here. They're definitely a team to be reckoned with, and they are serving notice to the rest of the league.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown.
And, Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half, and for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick six.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. As confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Point after, up and good. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
And this is going to be returned from middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled it to 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers.
And now here's another interception. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Well, there's two sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for them. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard. But also, you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player. You have to know the situation.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. Flush to his right. And some room to run now. Prescott able to get down there at the end on the slide, and he has the first as well.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair, because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. Prescott on first down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Multiple defenders there to drop him for a loss of 4. He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's caught. Touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season.
And the Cowboys get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Anthony Barr in on the tackle.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. On play action, Wentz. Man over the middle, and it's complete. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
We spent a lot of time talking about what's going on the field. How about off the field with the evaluation? And they spent a lot of time saying, we've got to get a rookie in here who has big playability. And that's exactly what we're seeing here early in his career.
Drafted him in the spring. Here he is early in the fall making an impact. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. Now Wentz. Throw left side, hauled in by Otten. 2 yards on the pickup there. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Now Wentz on 3rd down. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly put it up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. So holding there on the return, and that'll back him up to start the next drive.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy call right there, partner. I think when the officials look in their manual and see the expression jersey getting pulled, that's a flag coming out every time.
So the hold on special teams backs him up all the way inside the 15 to start. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He finds his man, complete. It's McCoy. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a 1st down.
Well, I certainly don't want to pile on, but this defense has just not been up to the challenge in this game, and this continues as we see here. Coverage, not been very good, soft in spots. There's an easy throw and catch for another 1st down.
And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. No luck whatsoever there on the draw.
Yeah, they're supposed to use their aggressiveness against them. That was the hope. But maybe they had too big of a meal last night. A half step slow, and he ends up running right into the meat of the defense.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Prescott from the gun. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Something we haven't really seen much of from him, an incomplete pass.
Yeah, last week he finished at 70%. This week he's up over 80%. I don't know how you slow him down. Pass rush is usually the best way because a quarterback on his back usually can't complete a pass.
A 40-yard punt, no return, and they will take over 1st and 10. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Wentz. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it, and that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Prescott, right side, caught by Jackson. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and goal when we come back. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's Jackson again on the reception. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. They'll motion out one of the tight ends. Elliott is in. Touchdown, Dallas. Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 14 yards there and a Buccaneer 1st down.
46 down, man.
Now Wentz.
Dumps it off to Fournette. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it'll be second down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
To throw again on second down. Wentz, he sets to fire deep. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's second down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Prescott now on second down. He'll get this out wide here to Elliott. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Here's Brian Anger now, standing just outside his own goal line. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And partner, they do have some good news though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Second down, back to Fournette. And for a second straight play, that Cowboy defense gets him to the ground behind the line of scrimmage. Just a loss of a yard there, but it's not going to help. Now they face a 3rd and 14.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now a play fake. Wentz. And my goodness, another interception. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Elliott going to get it again on second down. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside. And so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. To the outside, this is complete to Jackson. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Throwing, Prescott, and unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago.
Well, ultimately, not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good.
And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Kelvin Joseph.
And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown.
But not much defensive resistance on that drive. And really, Charles, the way this offense has been humming, they haven't faced much defensive resistance the entire game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that one team, their defense did not wake up and make it to the stadium for this one. But maybe some major changes on that side of the ball when we see them the next time out.
He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he returns this to the 22.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week? And my goodness, another interception. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And gosh, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. A gain of 3, second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and there was no shortage of it today. What a dominant showing from an offense that was truly playing at an elite level in this contest.
Partner, this game was over a long time ago, and you noticed they did not want to slow down anything. Absolutely a dream scenario for everyone on that offense, and they took advantage of every second. Guaranteed popcorn for everyone in their film session.
So for Dallas, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they'll fall to 1-1. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Atlanta Falcons come to town.